Now going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Planet Fitness hires a new CEO, but she is, as youth might say, woke and ridiculous. Now, this comes to us thanks to Fox Business, which oddly enough is still a thing. Specifically from, writer Alex. They note that, quote, Planet Fitness hires a DEI-focused CEO amid controversy over trans locker room policy. Which, again, when you're losing sales, you're going down on the ship, why you do the same thing is beyond me. Because again, they are losing sales right now in terms of overall sales. Now, in terms of sales of leftists or people who agree with the policy allowing biological men in women's bathrooms even when children are present, they are getting a couple of those, I think most people call them perverts if you want to change it from children, or mentally and morally vacuous. All of those I would say is apt and appropriate. There are some people who agree with that, mostly in San Francisco, but I don't think those sales are greater than the overall sales that they are losing with the boycott. Now, the stock has recovered basically. I mean, they lost $400 million when the story first broke. We had a man in the women's locker room shaving in front of a little girl and then later changing. And the people got in trouble were the people that were reporting it. It just shows you Planet Fitness's policies and what they care about and which side they chose. And the stock dropped by about $400 million. Then you had some investors buy some of their stock. So about evened out. And in fact, if I actually pull up their stock right now, curious what it's looking like these days. Currently trading, $60.57 per share. So again, it's doing pretty good. Looks like this week is about only down about 1%. Past month is up 3.66%. 6-month trend is up 13.11%. So the stock is still doing great. Now that being said, the sales are not really big at this point. An overwhelming majority of sales when it comes to any fitness product or any fitness membership comes in January thanks to New Year's resolutions. That's why if this story broke like December 15th or like mid-December, that I think is where you have seen a huge negative impact on their sales. Now, we've seen some people cancel their memberships, of course, but a lot of people are slaves to habit. They're not going to go in there and cancel their membership mid-year. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons why they're not in the red, so to say, fiscally speaking, or more accurately. Yeah, that's right. Now, going down really quick, in terms of the CEO, and again, the new CEO is Colleen Keating. Now, Colleen Keating, which in terms of her background, the old CEO, which again I agree with the company's policies, but he at least worked himself from the ground up, working at Planet Fitness for over a decade, where I believe he actually just started cleaning machines. So he knew the industry, he knew the company very well. And then they have Kathleen, who headed First Key Homes. Now, at that company, she was, quote, she was signed onto the, quote, what is this? CEO Action for Diversity Inclusion Pledge, which promises to continually strive to diversify our workforce through hiring through DEI lens to find talent in multiple locations and backgrounds. And yeah, that came 2 years ago where she signed that pledge on LinkedIn, which is a great way to kind of signal for the company and tell people if they should or should not, sign up or apply for that company based on their political beliefs, as this has become a political issue. Now, she said, quote, I was committed to be a part of this critical conversation with my peers who are equally committed to make our workplaces trusted places to have complex and sometimes difficult conversations about diversity, inclusion, and implement and expand unconscious bias education, share best practices and lessons learned, and create and share strategic inclusion and diversity plans, unquote. Let's see here. So she is, all the rhetoric that she has is all around the long-term impact on this and making sure it's not like a month thing. So at least she seems to be authentic in terms of she actually goes through on all these plans that she says. And I can't help but think this is not going to turn around their sales trend. And if anything, I would have thought if they actually wanted to be a long-term sustainable company, I would have thought they'd actually go out and they actually would find a company or a CEO who has just a long-term policy of having no political affiliations, just someone who is all about fitness and getting people in the gym, not about controversy, someone who maybe believes it's important to protect women. And yet, no, they've gone full bore, which, again, is what the investors and the shareholders want of this company. The founder of Planet Fitness had made it pretty clear when he had the conversations with the new owners when he sold the company, and he was pretty aghast when he learned that. So it's quite interesting. But again, I don't see this increasing their sales. I think it's going to backfire, especially long term. They'll be judged, December, January, where again most of their sales come in. That's where we'll see the hugest, biggest impact. And again, when you look at the culture and you look at the appetite of the American public when it comes to DEI, ESG, a lot of these things are fading. Now, even companies like McDonald's, they actually removed some of the vernacular from their website in 2023 related to these more controversial policies and ideals. I think you're going to see more of that as companies are going to maybe pull back to the middle political aisle. Either way, I think it's going to lose them a lot of money. And I mean, they're getting, as a youth might say, ratioed on Twitter. I think hiring a CEO whose main proficiency is not leading a fitness company, that certainly is the business blunder of the day. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that like button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leave me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.